Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Married Now Widowed. We're your hosts. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nadine, and this podcast is about navigating life after loss through unfiltered conversations.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
So today's episode is going to be about us,
Yes.
right? Who we are now and how grief has changed us.
Correct.
The people that we've become, what's been different.
Yeah.
Do you want to start it off?
Yeah. So I think that after we've gone through what we've gone through, I feel like you have an increased resilience.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just after experiencing, such a traumatic loss, I feel like, and I think we've discussed this previously, where you will go through whatever it is, right? Whether it's something work-related, whether you've had a fight with your mom, whether you've had a fight with your friend, whatever it is, and it'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you'll still get affected by it, don't get me wrong, but
I think a lot less than you usually would.
Because you've lost your best friend.
Yeah.
You lost your husband.
Yeah.
So nothing is going to compare.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So I think you do get an increased resilience, and I feel like you learn how to navigate through certain situations easier.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure. And I think you learn what's important and what's worth stressing over. And I know I say this to you a lot. So if I have a situation, I'll call you and I'll be like, this is happening. And then you'll make a comment. I'll be like, you know what? I've lost Mohammed.
You said that to me yesterday.
Literally. I said it to you yesterday. Yeah.
We were on the phone and we were chatting, and whatever happened, we were talking about something that happened. And Kayla was like, you know what? Mohammed died.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't really care.
Yeah. And I'll get over that.
Yeah.
I will get over it, because if I can survive the loss losing of your husband, Mohammed, and still smile and still manage to pick myself up and, do my everyday stuff that I do, then something like the conversation that we're having yesterday is like, whatever. Like I'll get over it.
I want to tell you, I think I've told you this before. I have a friend who lost her husband, and, we were in lockdown when Mick died. And so she had reached out to me and she had said, I really need to see you. I really need to speak to you. And we came out of lockdown eventually, and I went and saw her, and she said one thing to me, and in the moment I probably didn't really understand it, but I it didn't take me long I got it. I got where she was coming from, and things happened after that. I'll tell you what happened. So she said to me, you need to know that whatever you go through in life, because you're going to go through challenges, right? Especially after they've passed away.
Yeah.
And she said, you need to know that you are going to be okay. You are going to get through it. And she gave me examples of when something would happen and it would just automatically get sorted.
Right.
She'd stress about it in the moment, but then it would automatically get sorted.
Yeah.
And then after a while, she realized, hang on a second, why am I stressing over this?
Yeah.
It will get sorted.
Yeah.
And so she said to me, whenever you go through challenges, you need to know that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But you need to believe that. You really need to believe, hang on a second, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. Anyway, and then not long after, something happened and it literally just got sorted. Yeah. And I remembered her in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was right.
Yeah.
Like, everything is going to be okay, and everything will sort itself out.
Yeah.
And so I think that when you've gone through that, automatically you you might not think it at the beginning and you might not know it at the beginning.
Yeah.
But in time, you literally just are like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll get sorted.
Yeah.
And that also comes with increased resilience, right?
Absolutely. Of course.
So,
and I think as well, like, it's a pattern, right? So in life, you go through things, and before you go through something really big, things do stress you out, right?
Of course. So you're forever going to be stressed out about
anything. Could be a staff member leaving work. That's right. It could be an issue in a friendship or whatever it is. But I think after you go through a huge calamity, and it doesn't necessarily have to be death. It could be an illness in the family that really shakes up your world and shows you what's really important to prioritize and what's really important to stress about. You just start to learn that, I got through that. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still okay. Like, I'll get through the next thing as well. And especially when things are nowhere near as significant, right?
Exactly.
So for us, Mick and Mohammed's death, obviously the most significant thing we've been through thus far. So everything else, thankfully, thank God, so far has not compared, right? So my attitude now is, I just don't care. Whatever happens, because
you experience that.
Something will work out. Some way, something will work out, whether you believe, whether you're religious, whether you're spiritual, whether you're, whatever, it'll just work out. That's how, as humans, we just keep carrying on, right? Because we all go through calamities, big and small. Okay. So I think that's definitely changed me. I'm a very anxious person. I have anxiety a lot, but I have to say, since Mohammed, it's been a lot less, lot less.
And I think, prior to me losing my husband, if something happened, I always knew I had his support.
That's right.
And he was the one where I would turn to, and he was the one where, he would always tell me, don't worry about it, don't stress about it, whatever. Yeah. But just naturally, you don't think about, I never said to myself, oh, it will work out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I always stressed about the situation. I never thought that there was a way out, whatever it was. Yeah. Whereas now, I don't think that way. Yeah. I always think, okay, there's definitely, it will definitely sort itself out.
And I think as well, going from being in a marriage where you're supported, because, not all marriages that your spouse supports you, husband, wife, whoever it is. So with us, encountering a marriage where we were both heavily supported and could rely on our husbands to problem solve and to, whatever, it's very difficult to then go to being completely on your own, right? Yeah. And people say you've always got me, but you've always got it. I appreciate that so much, but it's so different.
It is different
to a marriage, right? I don't care if it's your in-laws offering that support, your immediate family, or your closest friends offering you that support. Yes, I will go to people for certain things. I come to you for all my day-to-day dramas, right? If I've got an issue, if I want to bitch about someone, if something's happened and it's I text you, call you for everything, right? And, my mum as well, if I've got something, whatever. But it's so different to your husband or your wife. This is a relationship.
Or your partner in general, because some people aren't married,
that's right.
and
they're just
they
de
live
facto
together
and
they've been together for years.
Very different to a regular relationship, right? So it's really hard to go from having that support and that safety net to then I'm pretty much on my own.
Nothing.
I have to, not even, the amount of times, and I know there'll be people out there that are like, no, I'm in that situation, I hate my life. With my husband, and this is just my experience, I wish I was divorced. Oh my God, I wish I could still call him now to, I don't know, I've got a car problem, or I've got this, or I need this put together. I wish I was, because And again, everyone's different, right? Some people are divorced and they can't stand each other, and that's fine. But for me personally, in my situation, I wish we were divorced, because I'd still have that support network, and I'd still have the father figure and all the support that comes with it. I would still have it. And that's really hard. To go from everything to nothing is really hard. Doesn't matter, honestly, for me personally, it doesn't matter how many friends I have, doesn't matter how close I am to them, doesn't matter how many in-laws I have, how many immediate family members I have. Completely different to having Mohammed around and being there and supporting me and guiding me emotionally and, you know, everything, right? And that's definitely changed me as a person, because I feel like now my responsibilities are a lot heavier, especially with a child. Maybe no child might be a little bit less on me, because, you know, I was single and
you just worry about yourself
for a long time, right? So I know how to navigate that. But being a single parent with absolutely no other parent in the picture is really hard. Really hard. Emotionally, financially, in everything. It's so hard.
Definitely.
So hard. So I feel like that's something that, you know, I'm definitely a lot more focused on just my kid. It's just my kid, because I just need to figure him out. I need to make sure he's good. I need to make sure everything that he would usually get from a 2-parent household, he's getting from me, whether it's emotionally, whether it's financially, whether it's whatever it is. I just always need to make sure he's good. And that takes up a lot of your time. Lot of your time and your energy, right? And I feel like, you know, I was telling you the other day, I still 2 years on feel like I'm just pouring from an empty cup. Like I don't have anything to give. I can't give much, you know. So whether it's a relationship, a friendship, you know, whatever the dynamics are, I'm still 2 years later in a phase where I'm so tired. I just can't give you much. I'm just exhausted all the time, because my mind is so heavy on this 2-year-old kid. You know, that's where all my resources are in at the moment. You know, and I think it will be like that for a long time.
Definitely.
He's little, he's 2. It's not, you know, we've got a long road ahead in like the parenting department. So that's something for me that has changed me massively as a person, massively, you know, to go from just a girl, no responsibilities, living at home, you know, everything done for me. I only have to worry about myself and my next blow dry. Well, still what I'm worried about, my next blow dry. But you know what I mean? I've got nothing really big on. You know, there's nothing, there's no major milestones I need to worry about. I'm just chilling, going to work, doing my thing, coming home, dinner's ready, everything's great. To then a really great solid marriage, to then, oh, you're on your own, work it out.
And that's what it is, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like you're now just dumped into this pool and you're trying to swim.
It's hard.
And, you know, or not even just float to get some air.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just surviving. Still, you know, people always DM us like, when does it change? When does it feel better? When does it whatever? It does get easier, but you are still just surviving for a really long time. Just being okay. I'm just okay. Right. You know what I mean? Like exactly I'm just, and if that on some days as well, right? So I think they're the 2 major things for me. It would be like resilience for sure has like quadrupled, right? And you know, like we've spoken about this in a podcast before, I'm pretty sure, but I talk to you about it a lot and other people. Like, it's really hard to explain to the people that are trying to support you, right? Because you do appreciate them and their support, and you would not be as okay as you are if they weren't in the picture, right? But the thing is that you choose to marry a person who aligns with all your values and your opinions. Most times. Again, there are situations where you hate your partner, right? And you don't align with anything, right? And you're just stuck. Fine. But in a traditional marriage or relationship, you've chosen this person because your parenting is the same. Your morals are the same. Your ideas on life are the same, right? So you guys align. Then when you lose that person and you have other people who try and step in, they're doing it to try and support you, and it's appreciated. But as the person on the other end, we do have opinions that don't align, right? Like I wouldn't say, for example, choose to marry, say, if it wasn't like incest, like a family member who's a male, because our values don't align. Do you know what I mean? Even if he wasn't my family member, I wouldn't choose you to be the father of my child because our views on life are different. Our views on what we teach inside the home are different, right? So that person then tries to step in just to be of support to you. And whilst you appreciate that so much, it's not the same.
That's
and
right.
It's so different,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
And then I feel like that also causes a bit of
friction.
In your relationship with this person, right? Because they're giving you advice to try and help you. You're like, I don't want that advice. That's not what I would do. And then it's like friction. And it's like, well, I'm there for you. I'm trying to help you. I want to step in as that person. But it's like, but we're not the same. This is different. This is not what I want.
Appreciate it, but
and it's hard. And that's why I always go back to saying, yes, these support people are great. But they need to understand as well that it's still very different and it is not the same and it never will be,
Definitely.
And that's the thing. People always try to fix and solve, but there's some things you just can't fix and solve. And it's exactly just life. Right. This is just the cards that you've been dealt. This is your life and you just have to handle it as this now single person.
Yeah.
So that's for me been major. I think as well, I just don't care much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you're like that too.
Yeah. So I think I just said this to you earlier before we started this episode. Yeah, I think your care factor to certain things in life just becomes so minimal. Like there are certain things that you may have really cared about prior to this, and then now it's like, you know what? I just don't care. I don't have the energy to put into this situation, and like
that's what it is, isn't it? It's energy that we don't have.
No, I don't have the energy to put into this. So at the end of the day, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I don't care about the person or I just feel like why would I care about something so stupid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I lost my husband.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and cry about whatever. Like and I'm talking something that would be so small, and I may have really cared about it in the past.
That's right.
But now
it's just irrelevant,
like,
really.
It is irrelevant. Yeah, it is irrelevant. But I also think that comes with personal growth. Like
that's true as well, yeah.
You
don't sweat the small things.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
And I think that's the opinion of a lot of mature adults, as in not talking adults like 40. I'm talking like 60 plus. Yeah. You know how they don't care about a lot of stuff and they're just like whatever?
Yeah.
They haven't necessarily gone through grief, but they've grown. Self-growth, right?
So and you evolve as a person.
That's right, but I think ours has been like pushed and sped up because of the calamity.
Of what you've gone through, correct? Yeah. And so it does come with personal growth because at the end of the day, I'm like, I've got there are more important things for me to worry about.
That's exactly right.
I've got, I need to ensure that my kids are looked after.
Yeah.
I need to ensure that their needs are met, that I am there for them emotionally.
Yeah.
We have businesses that we run.
Yeah.
We have, like our own personal journey that we need to worry about, because that's the other thing. A lot of people, and I can probably say that we've probably done this, we push ourselves to the side to be there for our kids.
Absolutely.
And so, but again, you do have to look after yourself as well, because if you can't look after yourself, then you can't look after your children. And so I think that also becomes a priority in your life.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be upset over a little fight or something that I had with somebody.
Yeah.
Like why? Like why am I going to put my energy into that?
Right.
I need to put my energy into the bigger things that are my future, that are my children's future.
Yeah.
That's what I need to worry about.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, it also comes down to personal growth.
You know what's something really weird and random that I feel ever since like going through this, and this is so weird, I don't want to go anywhere. I hate you know, the other day how you were like, you said about that place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go. I just don't want to go.
Yeah. I rang her and I was like, hey, let's do whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into specifics.
Yeah. Well, it'll come out at a later date. They won't notice. It's fine.
And then Kayla was like, no, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather really just like focus on other things and like, why would I waste that? You know, like my mum will have to look after my son and I just don't want to waste it on that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
okay.
Can we just keep this conversation between you and I?
Sure that's and you know what it is? It's genuine. Like
don't let them know that.
But I can't even care enough. I can't even.
Might have a lot of time in your hands now.
Thank God. Thank God it's just you and I can be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I just and like, oh, why don't you want to go? Just don't. No reason.
Yeah.
No reason. I
think for you it's for any widow, you feel like your time can end at any moment, right? Anyone really.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Your time can end at any moment. But I think for us, you just really want to put your energy into things that matter.
Yeah.
And to things that or people that
are really
do you know what I mean?
To me.
Yes, that's right. And so if something isn't, you know, doing it for you and if you're not going to get anything out of it, and I don't mean get anything out of it like it's a I know like you're wanting to get something out of it, like, benefit for it. It's not. It's just if it doesn't fuel you and if it's something that is unnecessary, that's probably the correct word. If it's something that is unnecessary, then why would you want to you know, put your energy into that?
Yeah.
And I think you just focus on the bigger picture, right? Yeah. You focus on creating memories with your son.
Yeah, it's all about him.
With, you know, the closest people around you.
Yeah.
And so if it's something that is like, no,
and I don't feel like I was to that extent prior.
Right.
You know, like I would love to go places and do things and whatever, but now I just don't have that need. I'm not interested.
It's like because you're focusing on your son.
Yeah. My son and also me too. Like for me, let's just say, for example, someone's invited me to somewhere that it's not really important that I go and the people there I don't really, you know that well. Let's just say it's something like that, right? I'm like, I'd actually rather hang out with my mum on my couch with my kid and just order takeaway and just sit there, and then I wake up fresh for work the next day. Yeah. Like that's how
I get that.
Like a bit old lady. But,
I get that.
and
but that's probably also because your son's quite young and you feel like you just don't want to be anywhere but with him.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm also super tired. That's really a big part of it. Like I'm so tired all the time. And I don't even think it's one of those things where, you need to rest more. I'm just mentally like dead all the time.
Yeah.
So that's something that I feel like I've changed heaps. And do you know what? I feel like, and thank God that I only, like my friends that I'm calling friends are very close with, so they understand me. But I've become so like unapologetic about it. I'm just like, nah.
This is who I am now.
Like before I'd be like, oh shit, what am I going to say? I'll say that, Mohammed doesn't want me to go because, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't. Now I'm like, yeah, nah. And they're like,
can't
why?
do it. Sorry.
I'm like, I don't know, just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Don't feel like it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
But I think that's great though. I think it's so good, so refreshing to be able to be more real and more honest.
Definitely.
And I think, I hope people appreciate my honesty.
Yeah.
No,
I think people would.
I would.
Some people might think you're a bitch.
That's okay. I don't mind.
You don't care, right? Like you don't care if people think you're a bitch.
At all.
Yeah. I think also you're not so like you don't see things tunnel vision anymore. Yeah. It's more like wide view lens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whilst I don't give a shit about what people say, and whilst my care factor is, you know, zero.
Yeah.
On the flip side to that, I also try and put myself in other people's shoes. I also give people the benefit of the doubt times a million.
Do you?
I've always been, you would know this.
Yeah.
Like I've always given somebody the benefit of the doubt. Now, there's a difference. If I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, then I ain't giving you no benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead to me. You can fuck off. Yeah. Or I'll just treat you how you treat me.
Yeah.
But if I genuinely feel like, oh, you're a good person, and maybe then I might give you the benefit of the doubt, and I might try and look beyond the fault.
You do give a little
beyond
bit,
what
you
has
do
happened.
put yourself in other people's shoes a lot. Even with my own situations, you're always playing like devil's advocate.
Even if I'm not putting myself in someone's shoes, I'm always thinking, okay, I really try, and that this is two sides to this.
Yeah.
I try and see the good in people.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think that because I want to see the good in everybody, and let's be honest, not everybody is a good
of course
person,
not. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I want to see the good in people, and so that's why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Now, again, if it's something that, you know, you've got bad intentions and it's malicious, like I'll see right through you, and I'm not going to allow you to take advantage of me. But if it was like a scenario, like a situation that happened, I would be like, oh, but maybe it was because of A, B, C. Maybe it was because of, you know, this, or maybe it was because of that. And then I just try and see beyond that just a little bit, because I want to see the good in people.
Yeah.
That has heightened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure. I think that I'm probably opposite in that. I think I see people worse than what I did before. I think before I would give a bit more like, oh, maybe this, oh, maybe.
But that's why I said it's remember
two
before we
sides
started
of it.
this episode, I said to you, there's two sides of it. There's, I don't give a shit anymore, and I'm not taking shit from anybody. That has increased. But then at the same time, I still give people the benefit of the doubt, and that has heightened. So I don't know. I feel like I just give every situation. I look at that situation, and then I just analyze it. You become more. You assess things a lot deeper.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you find that?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm assessing things a lot deeper. I'm always thinking about things. I'm overthinking things.
Yeah, definitely overthinking.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think I think death really changes you. It really does. Your perspective, even on the world, changes. It's not just, forget about how we feel about relationships close to us and all that. Just your perspective on life changes after grief, right? For me, the biggest change for me was, I would say, religiously, right? So up until Muhammad died, I didn't really look too deep into things. It was like, this is what it is. You know, this is the way we do things. This is the way, you know, that's it. It's just, you know, carry on with the day. But I feel like since Muhammad died, I'm way more into things. Oh, what can I do that's good for his soul? Oh, and I think about the afterlife way more than I ever have before, right?
But that's because you've lost your husband.
Absolutely.
So you're going to think about how, even though they're not here anymore, but how his soul is
100%
protected moving forward. Do you know what I mean?
And I think a lot of people go through religious and or spiritual changes after death, right? Because we start asking more questions. We're like, but what does happen? But what do we believe?
That's right.
And why do we believe it? And where does it say that? I remember after Muhammad died, my stepmom bought me, she sent over I don't know what the conversation was or what it was about, but I think just as a gift, she sent over like an English version of the Quran. And
that's nice.
It was so beautiful. And so I just started reading it every single day, like at his grave, because I thought, it's great to read for him, but it's also good for me. And I started really like, not even just reading, like getting into things. That means that, like, bought it, like making notes, like really like let me understand that. And I was definitely not like that before. Like I was, it's just completely different.
So you do change, whether it's religiously or spiritually. That you do.
Yes,
it automatically happens, right?
Definitely.
And you don't realize.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. A lot of people do. A lot of people go through. I see it all the time that they have these massive like spiritual awakenings, or they go on these huge religious journeys, or they just change completely as people, because we're like, you start to really question like, okay, so what are we doing here? What is this about? Right. What is this life about? So you change in that way as well. You change in so many ways. I just feel like you are just not the same person, not even close to the same person.
You're not the same person. I find that you're a changed person, but you are changed for the better. And I think that some people might not see that because they're used to the old you. Yeah. They're used to who you were prior to your husband's death.
Yes.
And so moving forward, it's not like you're out to get people. You're not malicious. Yeah. You're not, doing anything to hurt somebody. At the end of the day, you just want to leave peacefully. Yeah. And you're on this journey of self-discovery. Yeah. You need to rediscover who you are as a person and personal growth. Yeah. And so I don't think people understand that. I think people might just look at you and be like, oh, she's fucked. She's changed. She wasn't like that before. Yeah. I used to be able to sit there and talk shit about ABC and she would be on the shit talk wagon. But now she doesn't want to shit talk anymore. Yeah. I'm giving you an example, right? Yeah. Because really, like, little things that might affect somebody, it's not to say that, you're not going to sit there and listen to them. You are, but for you, it's like...
Yeah. And I
really like it's not that deep. It's not. There are bigger things in the world that we could be talking about or worrying about. Like, it's really not that deep.
Yeah, that's true, especially in this day and age. And I think, like, I always make sure to explain to people, because a lot of people, when they talk to me about their problems, they often say, oh, I feel bad even talking to you. I mean, in comparison to what you've been through. Okay, but I always like to, like, highlight that it doesn't matter. Everyone's problems are big or small to them. It has nothing to do with what my problem is, because prior to Mohammed, I still had problems that I thought were huge. Right. You know what I mean?
And so I get that a lot as well.
Of course, because people feel bad.
Of course, because to them it could be, I had a fight with my husband, and they're like, I'm so sorry to dump this on you. You've got bigger things to worry about. You've got, know, and it's like, hang on a second. I also don't want to be that person that...
Oh, nobody does.
No, I don't. I don't want to be that person where I'm not going to be there for my friend.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
I might think in my head, look at what you're arguing about. Who cares, right? Yeah. But I would never take away what you are going through. Yeah. If you are going through something, yes, it might not be a loss of a partner, but at the end of the day, this is hurting you in this moment. That's right. This is what you are going through right now.
That's right, yeah.
It's big for you.
That's exactly right.
You've not experienced bigger.
Yep.
I have.
Yeah, that's right.
But I would never take away what you are going through, because for you right now, this is massive.
And I don't think people should take it away from themselves either. If you're going through something and you feel like it's big, and we're not talking about those little stupid things in life. We're talking about, you're still going through something. You're fighting with your partner, or, you've lost a close friend of 15 years, or you've, whatever, stuff like that. I don't feel like you yourself should, like, diminish all, like, No,
I don't think they diminish it for themselves. I think when it comes to speaking to us, that's
but I
when
think some people
like,
do it for themselves too, because like, oh, there's bigger problems in the world. Why am I bothered by this? You know, which is good to have perspective.
There could be people out there, but I'm talking about more when you have a friend or a family member, whatever, that comes to you. Yeah. I never want anybody to feel like just because I lost my husband, that me you too. Can't come to me to 100%. Speak to me about your problems. I agree. Because like I said before, what I went through in my life and losing my husband, that was the biggest loss for me.
That's right.
But what you have gone through could be something that's massive for you, and that could be the biggest thing for you in that moment. Right. That's right.
That's exactly right.
And just because you haven't experienced what I have experienced, that doesn't mean that what you're going through is any less. Yeah. That's big for you in that time. Yeah. So I don't ever want somebody to come and I understand why they say it.
Yeah, of course.
But I never want people to feel like they can't come to me and speak to me about their problems just because in their mind, mine are bigger.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, 100%. And another thing is, I feel like and we've spoken about this before, I don't know, on the podcast or just privately, I feel like my advice for couples has changed massively.
Yeah.
I'm like a love hippie guru.
It would change. And I agree with you, because people have come to me and again, I'm not taking away what they're going through.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
yeah.
Come on, guys. Like,
I'm like, I don't know, rose-colored glasses when it comes to like people and their marriage problems, you know, like I get really serious problems and that I'm like, fuck him, you know, whatever. But a lot of those, you know, normal fights that people would have.
Yeah.
Oh, he pissed me off. He told me he'd be blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's okay, you know, don't worry about it. You love each other. Like I'm so on
Hang on
that.
a second.
What?
You do give the benefit of the doubt.
I think when it comes to marriage,
okay, so don't talk shit.
No, I don't. Only because I love and I want people to stay together and love each other and be together, because I feel like we don't value this enough, right? And again, I'm talking about specific relationships and marriages. I know there's so many fucking shit ones out there, right? And fuck those off, whatever. Anything toxic, anything not good for you, abuse, that stuff, fuck it off. But when you have two people that love each other but have your normal problems, you're not agreeing on a school to send your kid to, you know, your mother-in-law said something that pissed you off and you had a fight, but you guys love each other and you're so solid and you're best friends and you've been together for like 15 years, I'm like all for like just
compromise.
Yeah, just love each other.
Yeah.
It's not big of a deal.
Do you know like why also? It's because...
Yeah, because I'm lonely.
You had that. Because what?
Because I'm lonely and miserable.
No, it's not just about that. Yeah, of course, lonely and miserable. But it's because you had that. And I've always said this, like no marriage is perfect, but I can say that ours came very close to perfect. Yeah. And so you miss that.
Yes.
You miss that life that you had. Yeah. And so when you see couples, like you said, that are super tight, that have that, it's like, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. That's my biggest thing.
I feel like also you mourn your old life.
Of course you do. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The burger at Dubai from last week.
You mourn your old life.
Yeah, you do.
You have to mourn your old life.
Yeah, you do. You miss it. Yeah. And you just thought it was normal at the time.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just life. That's life. That's how it's meant to be, right?
But not everybody has that.
No, they don't. They don't. And then when you lose it, you're like, oh, the good old days. I see like my phone bring up, you know, iPhones are that stupid. Memories. That should be banned, by the way. Yeah. Like they'll put like 20 of like the happiest times of your life in a really sad song and just spring it on you on a Tuesday at 9 p.m. Yeah. Like, here's your life. And it's like, okay, thank you. Okay, great. Yeah, it's depressing. But like you miss everything about your old life. Even how relationships were with other people and you guys, you know, like, we used to have these barbecues and we used to do this, and on Sundays we'd do this, and Tuesday nights we'd go here. And it was like, you take things for granted. You do. But I think that's humans do that, you know, so it's not really like.
But I feel like now you don't take things for granted. For sure.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, that's true. You appreciate a lot more.
You do.
A lot more, because definitely. You really don't know when everything could just come to an end, regardless what it is. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a marriage or anything. It could be a relationship with a friend, something with your child, something, you know, it could all just change in a split second. It's just your whole life can change, you know?
Yeah.
So you definitely mourn your old life for sure. You think about it. You grieve over your old life too. 100%. And over what you used to be like. That's, you know, exactly I look at photos sometimes when I'm like in my feels, photos of myself, and I'm like, oh my God, you were so happy. What are you doing being so happy? Like, good for you.
Yeah.
You know, like, wow, you look like you're having the time of your life. Yeah. And in that moment, I never reflected and thought, look how happy I am. Look how beautiful life is. Look how whatever. It's only now that I look back and I was like.
There was fucking memories.
Oh, yeah.
There was a photo that popped up the other day, and I don't know. We were going to a wedding, I think, or I don't know where we were going.
Yeah.
And there was a photo of, I must have stuck my foot out to him. I was like, can you help me? So he was putting my shoe on for me, and he was doing the buckle, and I was like, fucking hell, man.
I know.
Look at you. You had someone you had your husband who was doing the buckle on your shoe for you, you know? Like just small things like that.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you look at pictures of yourself and of things you were doing, and like for me personally, I'm like, I don't even know that girl anymore. Like I don't even know who you are. Like,
isn't it crazy?
Things were going great for you in every aspect. Things were just
okay. Let me add. Yeah. It's not that things aren't going great for you now.
Considering what you know about my life at the moment, really? You're going to say that today?
Okay. You're just going through, you know, an obstacle in your life.
Okay.
You have come across an obstacle.
Yet another one. Here we are. Yep. An obstacle. I sure have.
And you will get through that.
Yeah, of course I will.
Remember what you said to me yesterday?
Totally. 100%.
Muhammad died.
I will.
Nothing can compare.
I will. No, look, life could always be worse. And again, grateful for now, grateful for my son, grateful for a lot of things. But that girl was happy in those pictures.
Yeah, I know.
She was happy.
I know. Yeah. It's a different happiness now.
Yeah, she was thin too. Yeah.
You're thin now? No, it's not like you're not happy now. It's just, it's a different happiness.
It is a different, right? It's definitely a different feeling. And I think everything that we feel is different, right?
Definitely.
Our accomplishments,
they're
different.
Yes, different. Yeah. Because then it was like
pure joy.
Family unit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Husband, son, kids, you know, best friend, traveling the world, building your empire together.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just the plans and the goals that you had as a family, obviously that's shifted now. And so you were very happy then. And again, you had a great marriage, you know, to now it's just a different
little bit
happiness.
Clouded, I feel always, right? So let's just say I have a really great, you know.
And looking at like other couples.
Yeah. Stop it, you guys. Fuck me. Also happy out there. No, I love it. I love it for you guys. I'm happy for you. I'm at home. No, right? So
they have their lifelong partner.
We went to
their soulmate.
I know. Fuck, it's not easy. It's really not easy seeing shit constantly, right?
You're happy for them. Let's make that clear.
Of course.
Totally
absolutely.
happy for you.
If
but
anything,
again, you mourn your old life. You're not just mourning your old life at the beginning. Now you're like,
do you know what? If anything, I'm too happy for happy couples. Like I'm like before I would have just been like, oh yeah, good relationship, cool. Now I'm like, oh my God, beautiful stuff. Look at you. Like my picnic friend, my client. I can't stop thinking about her fucking fishing trip picnic. I'm just so happy that you guys are doing that on like a Tuesday afternoon, whatever day it was. Like you live life, guys. You love each other and enjoy each other's company. I'm happy for you, right? But I feel like let's just say, like obviously my work's really important to me, right? Let's say I have a great month at work. Yay, good achievement. But I still feel clouded because Mohammed's not here.
There's like a part of the puzzle that's missing.
Yeah. So pre-Mohammed, it would have been, oh my God, this is great. I'm feeling on top of the world. Now it's like, oh, that's good. That's cool. Great.
Yeah.
Bit flat.
Yeah.
Bit flat. Yeah. It just always feels like, there's a bit of a dull like presence on things. So
I understand.
Yeah, you can't say like, you're unhappy with your life because we're so blessed, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to be grateful about. It's just a different happiness. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you want to share anything with us or you want us to talk about a particular topic, head over to all our socials. It's Married Now Widowed on all platforms, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.